presentations, and then Yogi will show online how you can set yourself up for this visa that comes out now, or has been out for quite some time. And I think the whole purpose for us to do this one is, in despite of all these COVID times, we've actually expanded our offices to all next door. So we want to do sessions like this where we try to get more activity, bring people into Bali, talk about things that we see relevant for the business community, and you're more than welcome to suggest topics that you want to see a lot. One of them right now is obviously with COVID, and since March, was it, Indonesia got into a full stop, no more foreigners coming in, and then early August they started ease up on what they call onshore visas, or all the expats here that was in some kind of emergency, expired visas, whatever it was, all of that, in spite of all the confusion, was eventually worked out, so people could then establish that proper situation in Indonesia, and then they moved on to allow entrance from offshore and people in other countries coming in. And to begin with, that was based on the sort of traditional way. You apply for a visa, you go to the embassy, or send your passport to the embassy, and they send it back to you, and now they come up with a new solution. And we're not a typical visa agency. We do help people with quitas and business visas and anything that we can do. But for us, it doesn't make sense to sit on this information and sort of, deal with an agent, pay us 4, 8, 10, 12 million, whatever the amounts that are charged in the market. Because we think now it's much more important that we all contribute to try to bring people into Bali, give us a little bit of hope while things are obviously hopefully emerging and getting better. And we actually see a lot of demand for people that want to come back or come to Bali. They're tired of what goes on in Europe. If you watch the debate on Trump and Biden, quite a few Americans now are fed up with what goes on there too. So there's a lot of people that actually want to come, but their perception is that Bali and Indonesia is closed. But since probably about mid-August, it's been possible to enter Indonesia, and there's no restrictions as long as you have a pre-approved visa and you comply with the obvious health protocols, negative tests and so on and so on. So for us, it makes a lot more sense to work with companies or villas that can actually do this themselves. So we suggest to people, if you have a little research, we develop other businesses. Some of you have boats that you might want to fill up. That is possible to do, to get them in on business and social visa for obviously most probably longer stays than just the usual tourist visa. For now, Indonesia do not allow the visa on arrival, and you do not allow the sort of free 30-day visa, and they might never return, but that's not a worry because of this e-visa that we'll look at. It makes it a lot easier to actually, for anyone eventually, to go online and apply for that. So I guess we're all suffering. Times are a bit, actually very hard. Tourists has vanished. There's a few pockets of expats, I guess, Canggu, Phuket, you see all the Ubud crowd in Uluwatu, so some of them are down there. Ubud has a little bit. Amed, there's a few, but it's very, very few compared with the, several 100,000 tourists that came in, month after month, and obviously that has had a devastating impact on the economy. If you look at Indonesia in general, they're not too bad off compared to Europe, US, and so on. That has had issues and recession. You can see now most of the markets are lifting, but Bali is the province that is obviously very, very hardly impacted by this. Most other provinces have a lot of other businesses, and it's not that bad. So there's two types of visa that you can get applied for, as long as you have either a PT-PMBN or a PT-PMA. You can take pictures, that's okay, but we'll also share this with you, because there's no secret, we'll send this to all of you. So PT-PMBN, for those who don't know, that's just the domestic shareholders, and PT-PMA has, obviously, foreign shareholders in it. But any company registered and set up and being in compliance with Indonesian law can set up an account with immigration, and you'll be able to show it well how to do that. So you have the business visa, single entry, and then social visa, also single entry. They're similar in nature, they're all on the same index, but the social visa is more obviously social, tourist, maybe social work and so on, and business is then a meeting and so on. In reality, we see that anyone applying for that gets it. Immigration will tend to say if it's kids, maybe they should apply for a social visa. So, in terms of technical, how we apply for it and gets it issued and so on, there's no difference.
So we can take questions as we go?
Sure, yeah, no, we can do that as we go on.
Okay.
And we'll do a Q&A after that.
Someone in for Grace?
Yeah.
I just have a quick question. My understanding was that business visas were not available anymore at the moment. So is that not the case anymore?
They are available,
the e-visa?
but they are available through the e-visa. So the e-visa now takes over for all kinds of visas. But you can get 10,000 e-visa, you can get multiple kinds of visas, except the visa on arrival. We had people arriving on it yesterday that they're no problem issuing, and this is in accordance with the latest regulations that immigration have issued.
But it's the same visa though, right? It's the same code, it's just a different purpose.
Yeah, so you got 211 A, B, and C. There's three different types. One is business, and then you got the social, and you got the one for reporters, which is, you do a movie or you do some kind of something.
So the one you're talking about is the 212, the business visa you're referring to there?
211. So you have two types of both social and business visa. There is one as a single entry, and then you stay like you see here. You get 60 days, and you can extend up to 4 times. So you get total 180 days. Then there's the 212, which is 60 days, and in theory, you have to leave Indonesia and come back and it's valid for 1 year.
And the 212 is available at the moment?
Not yet.
That was actually my question.
Sorry. Okay. So yeah, this is the old way of how we did it. Telex sent to the applicant, converting to whatever embassy, and even with most of the Indonesian embassies closed, people send the passport in, it gets stamped, worked out, and sent back. Some of the embassies do open and deal with people, but under obviously in compliance with the COVID protocol. And then you get your sticker set into your passport, and you find a flight, which is more of a challenge than actually the visa itself these days. And you go to Indonesia. With this new e-visa, then you have an application who will get the visa directly sent to your email. You print that out, put it in your passport, and you go. So you have no business with any embassies in Europe or US or anywhere. The embassies is not involved in the process at all. So you don't need to go there. You don't need to send your passport. You have that approval. You go to the airport, find the flight, come to Indonesia, and that is sufficient enough to then enter.
Does that mean to stay, or is it just for now?
Sorry?
Is that process?
E-visa for sure is there to stay, for sure. So that process will continue. And they have other types of visas coming. There's no talk about the digital nomad, tech visa or whatever. That is also imminent coming soon. But the whole process of these applications are getting easier.
So for business visa and for social visa, you only can respond to them if you have a treaty or email.
Yeah.
Must have for this.
Yeah, if not, you can talk to an agency like us or others.
Or I go to an agent.
Sure. But like us.
What about the private Indonesian sponsoring
Social visa they can, but in the latest decree that came out from immigration on 5th of October, any sponsor must have $10,000 on their bank account. And the reason for that is that immigration found themselves in a situation where a lot of Russians in particular and a few others that got stranded, they had no money. The Russians eventually sent planes and picked them up, but then they went back to the sponsor and said, you're actually liable for this, and we'll talk about this in a little while. And, I don't have money, and it just became an issue. So that's why they have this regulation in place. If something goes wrong, they can come back to the sponsor and say, you've got to pay for the ticket to get this person out of here.
So there is that.
Go ahead.
$10,000 for invited person, so
Not per person, totally their account. So you can sponsor 10, 20, 30, whatever it is. As long as you can show you have some money in their account to take care of people if there is an issue. Any other questions on this? Yeah? No. It doesn't matter. You just have to show that you have some money in your account to be able to deal with issues. If one person is having issues with immigration or whatever it is.
Next.
So, Yogi will show you a little bit online on this, but if you already have a company, you can go to this immigration page and create your own visa online now. Next. I think, can you show that? Just, Yogi will explain that because he's the one that does it technically.
Good morning, everyone. Today, I explained to come to the visa online system. So when you click on the like a keyword like visa online, the system will direct you to here like that. Yeah, visa online immigration. And this is the front page of the system. And here you can also see the quote per day. So this is like for the business day. So normally. The total total is now this is 700 and now it's still remaining in the 60 and here is a multiple business visa is related to your residential because from now the multiple business is not available in the system and also this one is for the stay permit or kitas still have to put that and here is a state when you run here like the POA and pre-visa that for now is not allowed to have in here. So next step, if you understand, sorry,
Is the quotas there?
sorry,
The quotas, is that
Yeah, the
week,
quota.
per month,
per day,
per day?
per day.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's for all Indonesian. So
So we've seen a few times that the system actually crashed them because it's too much.
So is it true as well that you actually have only 30 minutes a day to put into everything you want?
basically the system is working from the 8 p.m. until 4 p.m. So after because we work in all of Indonesia, I mean, so we must directly to in the rush to
But there's not
within the system.
yeah, times. You have 8 hours every day that you can go out.
Yeah.
The time restriction of 8 hours every day.
Yes.
As long as the quota is
So working days, yeah. Because they
working
I'm
days.
working days.
Yeah.
And how quickly are the quotas filled up, as you've seen it?
The first few days when this was launched, and very quickly.
Very quickly.
Now it takes a bit more time, but it's still a massive demand on the system.
Do you know why they limited to 700?
Technical and management-wise, you had other issues like immigration closed for a while because they had COVID cases and so on. To be able to deal with the demand was so restricted.
So all in Indonesia will only accept 700 foreigners per day. Basically, that's what that's the plan. That's it. Nothing else.
This is still under, development. So it's a test going on.
What does it mean VK and Victor?
This one? Kitas is for kitas with the investor or the working
Working retirement.
Yeah, for this one is for multiple business, but business state, but not available for it. For the business with single business visa and also the social percent is in here. The PK, yeah. So if you don't have yet the account in the system, you should go to register, and so depend on the individual or the company, and pick one of them. Yeah.
So an individual would have to be an Indonesian citizen and the
For individual, normally the document required is like a birth certificate and the family card and also the ID card from the sponsor.
plus account statement.
Okay.
Account
Yeah,
statement.
the account statement. That's how to, yeah. This one is for the corporation account. And in here, the type of your company, either this one is for the foreign investment, it's BNR, and also for the PMDN or for PT, you can choose the individual company. So when you show this document, choose the categories for this one, the document required will be different also. For the foreign investment only required for the IIP and also give like the form to application to the Director General in Immigration Department. So local PT a little bit more than that, with an ID, credit of establishment, and also the ratification from the ministry, and also the operational license or business license. So here you can check this one is for the company information, this one is for account and also the username and the email. Here for that, so here is a chip of identity, and also this one is company reference. Next, and that's supporting document that depend on the category that you choose. You will upload the document required to that step. And after that, normally we'll waiting, and after this success to proceed, normally waiting the 1 until 2 days.
Okay, we can show the next slide.
Next slide. When you succeed to proceed your application to the system, normally will issue the notification like this one, and or your application succeed to proceed, and will the date on that. And after that, let's show the approval. Next stage. Here. This one is notification is well preferred and something like that. Will show the ID of the sponsor, so username and also the password. So you can use it to log into the system. It's not enough. Normally, when you succeed to proceed to the system, so in the 2 until 3 days, we'll issue the notification like what I said previously. Now is for visa, so we'll directly issue the billing and for the USD for the visit state, we'll issue the $50 and directly paid, and after that we'll continue to proceed, and we're waiting the rest is the example of that is like the visa.
So the billing is sent to the company applying for the visa?
You have 2 payments. One is when you apply, which is 200,000
directly in the same time.
in this, and then the $50.
$200 and also the $50.
So the person in the other country doesn't have to pay anything?
You just pay us.
So, is it necessary to have a concrete case, or the company can just set up the account in perspective to maybe have some time to have to apply for the visa? I mean, like, if the account does it get an expiry date, or does it make sense to just like create the account and let it go until you have a concrete case?
It'll stay active as long as your company is active and engaged and you use the company.
So you don't have to apply for a visa after registration of the account, like within whatever.
So that's kind of like, thank you. What we're saying is that we, and we'll get to that, there's agents that shares this information, and there's agents that does not share the information and want you to come to them, and I'm sure you will see the prices are anything from 2-3 million up to 10, 12 and so on. We will get to the next slide. So if you don't have a company, that's something we offer as a service to set up PTPMBN, PTPMA. It normally takes 25-30 days to get that. Obviously now is a big thing for expat to set up a PTPMA and sponsor their own investor kit us. So that's just the process on how that goes through, and we're happy to help people with that. Next. And this is not like we say that to our clients that if you want to use us, we will sponsor it and we can issue business visas, and we have quite a few clients. Like I said, we're not a typical visa agent that goes on Facebook and all over saying come to us, but we have clients that we work with that have set up companies, legal advice and so on. So for those clients or friends of these clients, we do that, and we charge $4.5 million or something like that to set it up, and then $950,000 for the extension. We can also help you setting up the account if you have any issues with this. So you can call us, contact us. We have, how many do we have? 6 lawyers, 7 lawyers next door. They're actually next door. You meet them later. So they can help you set it up, and we don't charge for that. That's all good, so that people can actually go and do this, and we can see more people coming in. Third is that we help you set up the account. We manage that. We haven't really thought through that. Maybe we charge a fee per head or something just to do the actual application. Next, so all you need is not love, but and next. So for us, this is we want to get it out there, and you have friends and people that need help to set it up. That makes it easier. Other than now, you can see there's probably 10 or 12 serious agencies, and there's a lot of not so serious agencies. It's all over the place on this aspect. What you got to remember is that anyone you bring in and sponsor, and this is debated a lot on Facebook as to why agents or a lot of agents has increased the prices. I don't know, we increased $1 million or something, I think, from the old days or pre-COVID. But the agent is liable, or the sponsor is liable. So what you got to think through, if you bring people in on this package, you want to say, okay, I'll give you the visa and you stay with us for 6 months in a villa or a boat or whatever. If they have plans to break that up and go other places, you got to be thinking that through. Whether you want to be liable, they stay 2 months in your villa and they move on to some other villa, you still have to continue that process to do the extensions and so on. And the liability is if some of these persons get caught by immigration for doing illegal work, and a lot of them do right now in Bali. There's 100 cases being investigated for breach of working permits. We're not a little bit less on the 20, I think. Because there's so few of the expats left, it's easy to identify and see what people do, and they do process. So think of that. The fines that you can be fined is quite substantial. But obviously, as we know, there's always a middle road without using wrong words when you deal with these institutions. Same with criminal aspects. Someone get caught in drugs or an accident or something, you have liability. We're trying to explore how do we can we get an insurance? And all the companies I've spoken to in Indonesia so far, they have no idea how to do this. So we're trying to identify the companies that I'm sure it's going to cost quite a bit, but for those agencies or companies that want to do this on a larger scale, that's probably worth considering that you can get an insurance to cover it.
Can you withdraw your support if it goes ahead?
You can terminate, yeah, you can terminate responsibility. You can. So if someone says, oh, I'm out of here, then you say, okay, I want to. We've had a few of those too because they run out of money and it's all kind of fun stuff. So you can terminate it, but then they'll have to leave. Or can they convert the sponsor? We've seen that a few people have actually changed sponsors.
I mean, the real life situation is you sponsor somebody for business to come down here for a business
Or social,
yeah. Let's say it's a business deal, and you spend a week with that person, doesn't stay in place, it's just you're talking business, and he's here on your visa, but he can now be here for 6 months.
Yes.
He gets caught doing drugs. How is that my problem?
Police will probably look at the sponsors.
And how does that become my problem for the police side?
You're liable for all the person's activities in Indonesia.
All the time he's here.
All the time that they're here.
Okay.
So this is the big sort of question mark about why this needs to be managed and why for us to go wild about this and sponsor people and get them in doesn't make sense. We do, like I said, people with no clients. We've thought of we asked immigration if we could get clients to sign a disclaimer like this and all that. That doesn't work. You can't let go of responsibility, you have legal take it all.
But I mean, that's a serious question.
So,
people are going to be bringing in people for business.
something.
It's not here to stay
So
business.
it could even be done in a legal way with a lawyer or a notary where people say, just give you the liability release or anything criminal, for example, at least criminal.
You could do like a contract, and we thought of do we pull in a deposit or something like that, and we retain that until they leave, and then they get it back. Something like that is an option too. That is, I want to have $1,000 or $2,000 on my account to make sure that if I have to buy a ticket, that's going to come off your bill, or something like that. Because it is, and we do this with any one of our friends and clients, but we do have a little bit of,
Exciting.
anxiety, looking at the person, how they're going to behave or not. So that,
Yeah, I think it's a very good point what you said. And if you have any idea of an insurance, please.
yeah, no, we're constantly trying to evolve this, and sort of, we'll share that information if we come up with
We
something.
just started also with our first business visa. We are a local company. I'm Indonesian, so it's why a local company. And it is absolutely, I agree what you said. We should not just thinking about to get a lot of business visa, but really look who is sponsored. And we try to make like a contract. But I have one question. For example, what we do is really only for our clients who wants to make business here, so I feel a little bit more safe because I know some. But I would like to ask how it's, for example, one of our clients, they want to invest in Sulawesi, so they're definitely traveling. Would this be a problem when we can really prove? So this is not a problem, yeah? Because we can prove they're going there for like meeting business partners.
As long as it's in Indonesia, they
So no
can
problem
travel.
at all.
No issues. What you also will see, and most of you have been here for quite some time, and some of you are Indonesians, every now and then you have technical issues with the system, and you have, what's the right words, creative technical issues that will appear every now and then. And then you need support from immigration department, so we can supply all of that too. And we can share with you whatever that cost is. Sometimes the italics get stuck and you have to have someone dip their hand in, pull it up. They offer express services, so normally this now takes 2 weeks or something like that from application until the visa is issued. And if you want to speed that up, they charge 5, 6, 7, 8 million more to do it in a matter of days. So you can do that. We also do, like we've had last night, we had an Australian family coming in. So we provided them also with a VIP service when they get, people meet them, take them through, because you come to the airport, you sit on the chair, you move forward, there's soldiers, police, there's all these 3, 4, 5 checkpoints. So just to make them feel comfortable, we offer like an escort service that talks them through, take all the papers. And we,
service where you can book this. Is it in because they land in Jakarta, yeah? So it's not here in Bali.
most arrive to Jakarta regardless, because there is almost no international flights coming to Bali. So all our flights so far has come to Jakarta, but I have a domestic flight to Bali.
So the escort service would be
In
done
Jakarta, in Jakarta.
How much
They
is
take
this?
2.5 million per person or something like that. I can share with you the list and the contact person for that.
Thank you.
And for these agents sort of sell the services using the just any PP, is it actually legal or?
These visas?
Yeah.
They're fully legal, yes.
Yeah, so anyone with a PT, they can actually
Yes.
promote commercially and offer
Yes.
these
You can go to
services.
immigration and read the latest printout. They're also in English, and they're all in compliance with Indonesian law. There's no funny stuff going on. There is agents out there who says we work with a different system, not the online system, to justify their fees and so on. That's all.
So you don't have to be a registered agent.
The benefits of having an agency registered is like when you do the extension, you are represented by the agent. If not, your company will probably have to go there 3 times so they can buy fingerprints and the membership. So that is yeah.
As for the purpose of the visit, so you're talking about business and social visa. Does it apply also to tourists, like coming in for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever?
As long as they use the visa, not a social visa, they can.
So how do you justify the business aspect?
You don't need to.
You don't need to justify any
You
kind
need
of.
no justification.
So you just apply for a business visa,
Yeah.
and then so basically with there is no question asked like what are you doing in Indonesia? And even if the question is asked, tourist visit is
You can say I'm here to visit friends and family, or just have a few weeks off from the mess in UK or wherever they come from.